Majewski Metro Park in Des Plaines, Illinois. It's the 22nd Annual Amateur Softball Association National 16-inch Softball Tournament Championship Game. And hello again, everybody. I'm Steve Cashel, bringing you all the action today with Tom LeVar, an ASA Softball Commissioner, and we're here at the World Series of 16-inch Softball. Glad to bring it to you. And Tom, well, it's a most unique game, played with gloves, and yet very similar to baseball.
Well, I'll tell you what, this has been a very hard-fought tournament. It started at 7 o'clock on Friday evening, and here we are 65 games later, and we're ready for the big one.
We're down to the final two teams now. We've got the Rolling Meadows Coopers team, and we've got the Oak Lawn Ducks. Coopers has advanced throughout the consolation tournament. They've won 7 ball games so far, while the Ducks have lost 1 and won 2 so far today.
Well, I'll tell you what, 7 games, 9 games, 5 games, anything after 3, you're going to be tired. So it should be a pretty tough game coming up.
Well, it's the World Series of 16-inch softball right here from Des Plaines, Illinois. We're happy to bring it to you, and we'll stay tuned for more pregame activity coming up right after this. Neil. And Tom, it's been an outstanding tournament, the most number of teams ever.
Yeah, Steve, we started with 33 teams from South Dakota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Indiana, and of course Chicago, and we're down to 2.
Mm-hmm. And there's always been a winner from Chicagoland, and there will continue to be after this game.
Yeah, a team from outside the Chicago area has never won this tournament, and they're getting closer, they're getting better, but they still can't play with the Chicago teams.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about Coopers and the Ducks right now. Coopers has done a tremendous job. Today alone, they've won 7 games here on Sunday to advance to this championship game. Are they running out of momentum by now? Are they tired, or are they just going on adrenaline?
Yeah, they're just going on adrenaline, and they're just a super team. To be able to come back and win 7 games in a row is just phenomenal. I don't care what they're playing.
Mm-hmm. And we're also going to play the game today with 6 umpires. And I think the umpires, the men in blue, not always well respected or well liked, yet they've done an outstanding job.
The umpires have done a fantastic job, and Mount Prospect Park District has done a fantastic job getting the fields in good working condition.
Well, here we have it now. We're going to have the championship game coming up momentarily. Thank you to Tom O'Neill for stopping by. We'll be back in just a moment. Great, Tom.
Yeah.
Good job, man.
Good job.
The second time tonight, Coopers won the first ball game by a score of 11-5, and they were pretty dominant.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Ducks just never got rolling. They had a couple chances in that 3rd inning, and they just didn't get going. And they're going to have to put the pressure on here, or they got the ins again, it looks like.
And this is the final game, as Coopers has won 7 games alone today. And here are the starting lineups now. First of all, for the Ducks,
material.
Catching will be Vern Scarpelli. He'll wear number 32. Number 22 is a center fielder, Jeff Metz. Batting third will be number 21, Al Can. At third base will be 00, Big Bill Dvorak in the cleanup position. Number 5 will be number 24, Rich Ross. He'll play short center field. We have an extra hitter. He's Mike Norris, batting in the number 6 position. Batting 7th will be Ray Vicario. He wears number 5. He'll play left field. Batting 8th will be Jerry Kelleher. He's the shortstop. Batting 9th will be Rick Omenskisi. He's playing second base. At first base will be number 31, Larry Zacher. And the pitcher is Skip Borkowski. That's the lineup for the Ducks and 4 Coopers, who come into the game winning 7 games today. 1 more and they have it all. Leading off will be Frank Mastari. He's number 33. He'll play shortstop. Number 10 is Matty Gillen. He'll play second base. Kenny Cooper will be the extra hitter tonight. He's number 26. Number 44, batting cleanup, is Big John O'Connor. Carries a fine tradition of softball. He'll be catching the ball game. The pitcher, the well-known number 6, Tommy Zarnik. And after him will be Bud Dorskin. He's the first baseman wearing number 3. Kenny Claus will follow him. He's number 12. Number 4 is Don Bianchi. He'll play third base. Joe Samodi. And then Mark Schuler round out the order for Coopers. And we're on their way with the first pitch, and Vern Scarpelli taking first strike 1. Ball one, strike one here. Vern Scarpelli leading off the game. The winner to take home the top prize. Ground ball, base hit. Excuse me, foul ball.
Yeah, it was just a
I got
touch
carried
foul.
away.
About 15 feet foul. No problem.
Well, Tommy, it's good to be here. We got plenty of fans on either side down the lines. We got plenty of fans in the bleachers. A couple of big trophies standing next to us.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. They had a beautiful weekend to play ball. I'll have to admit that.
And let's talk about the alternating ball rule if we can right now, as Tommy Zarnik wants a new ball.
When the ball goes out of play, they rotate the balls as per the ASA to keep the game moving along smoothly.
Coopers, who's won 7 games today, have won 6 games earlier. That was in the spring in one day, and that's been their longest so far. They're going for 8 right now as Vern Scarpelli flies out right there to Joe Samodi in center field, and there's one down. But they have won 6 games in their own tournament in Rolling Meadows, the Coopers tournament, where they won it.
Yeah, that's Cooper Sporting Goods host tournament from Rolling Meadows, and they played very good ball to win that.
And here they are back again trying to take the World Series, the ASA National Tournament. Right here, here's Jeff Metz now standing in. He's the center fielder. In the first game, he was 1 for 3. Tommy Zarnik on the mound, the man of many nicknames, known as Eggs, because he's from Hammond.
Well, he's not from Hammond. He's from Chicago.
Is he?
Yes.
They told me he was from Hammond.
Well, I think he's just pulling your leg a little bit. I'll tell you what. His nickname's been Eggs for as long as I've known him.
And always playing in Chicago.
He got it from playing in Chicago. He's not from Hammond.
And what about his new nickname?
His new nickname, Oil Can Eggs. He was given that moniker by Mr. Bob O'Malley, the manager of the Coopers. I guess maybe there was an incident similar to the Boston's Oil Can.
Line shot right at Mark Forgetto, the short center fielder. A play that would have been hard to make without the glove. Tom, I want to point that out right now because every guy has gloves.
Okay. Here we have a line shot. Mark picks the ball up right from the tops of the infield dirt. Good play, Mark.
And Mets had to hit the ball in fair territory because that's another rule we want to talk about. Foul to 2 strikes is an out.
Well, in all 16-inch softball in Chicago, that's true. You cannot foul the ball after 2 strikes.
So here's Elkan, the 600 hitter, grounds right to Zarnik. He throws them out. 1, 2, 3, nothing across. And we're at just the start of things here at the bottom of 1. The Ducks have not scored. Coopers is coming up.
Your type of softball game. Years ago, what would happen is somebody just keep fouling balls off until they got the right pitch to hit it where they wanted to hit it. So in order to keep it neat and tidy, they brought that rule in.
And we're here to lead it off with Frank Mastari. Line shot right at Kelleher, the shortstop. And he retires Mastari, and there's one gone. Mastari sprained an ankle in the last game. And he looks like he's okay, though. I think he's going to play the entire way.
Well, I'll tell you, half the battle in hitting a good 60% of hitting the ball, getting it over an infield, has to do with your legs. Bat speed isn't as important as good bat control in 16-inch softball.
I don't want to fail to mention that Paul Brzezinski, who's the usual leadoff hitter for this ball club, is out. He pulled a hamstring yesterday, and while Coopers has been playing for 13 hours today, Brzezinski's not been available at all.
Well, that's a big blow to the Coopers because he's one of their leaders. He's one of the finest pure hitters I've ever seen.
And player coach Kenny Cooper told me that he can't believe how they have advanced just today without Brzezinski. It's really a tribute playing in his honor.
Yeah, that certainly is a big thing, a tribute to the Coopers squad. A bunch of players that play together, you know, come out a long, long day, a big road ahead of them to get to this game. You know, it is a tribute to them.
And Paul Cooper also called Paul Zarnik the pitcher, or Tom Zarnik the pitcher, and Paul Brzezinski, his left fielder, the MVPs throughout the season.
Well, they certainly did have a good record.
And here's one guy that you could call an MVP in any league, Matty Gillen, who grounds out to Kelleher. And that young Kelleher at shortstop is an outstanding player. One of the older guys on this field, yet he can do it all.
I'll tell you, Jerry Kelleher is a seasoned veteran. He's played national championship teams. He's been an All-American. He's been in this situation many times, and I'm sure the Ducks are going to look to him to lead them to the championship tonight.
Here's the extra hitter, Kenny Cooper. He's the player coach. Kenny Cooper is also an assistant football coach for Fred Lusso over at Rolling Meadows High School. Fred Lusso's wife just had a baby. Congratulations to Fred and his wife. And he's the assistant coach at Rolling Meadows High School. Or Kenny Cooper's the assistant coach, and he's taking time out, and he shoots one to the right side, going with his power right past the second baseman.
Well,
first single of the day.
He caught him cheating over there. He caught him cheating.
We've got interference on the first baseman, supposedly, Tom.
Apparently, the first baseman touched Mr. Cooper and kept him from taking a longer round around the bag after his, his single.
Not that he wouldn't have went to second anyways, but...
Well, he was taking his turn, and the gentleman was in the way. It's interference. These officials, there isn't very many things that they're going to let slide. They're a fine officiating crew. They've officiated tremendously throughout this tournament. Very good.
And up to the plate now will be Johnny O'Connor. Johnny, one of the more respected men in all of 16-inch softball. People talking about him all day. He won the home run hitting contest, knocking 3 balls out of 15. He has 5 home runs in the tournament so far in the 8 games, or 9 games that Cooper's played so far, and he's an outstanding player. Standing in with Cooper on first, or on second. Fly ball to left field. That should retire the side as Ray Vicario camps under it, and that's the end of the inning. No runs a hit, no errors. They left one. Kenny Cooper on second base. And we'll go to the top of the second. No score for either team. And right now we're going to show you the field dimensions at Metro Majewski Park, where the field dimensions are 265 down each of the lines and the straightaway center. Usually you have a much longer center field, and yet it's straight across as you see it there on the monitor.
Well, I'll tell you what, the outfield fence is symmetrical. It's not arced by any stretch of the imagination. They felt that by keeping it symmetrical, it gave everyone a chance to hit the ball out of here. But don't forget that in cool weather, the ball doesn't travel as far. That's probably why we haven't seen too many people hit it out. I do want to point out that Bill Dvorak, who plays for the Ducks, did hit a ball out this weekend, which is one of the very few.
The bases also are 55 feet long, and pitcher to home is 38 feet long. And anybody that hits a ground ball has a good chance of beating that out if you can tell that 55 feet is not a very long way. Here's Bill Dvorak up right now. He's the third baseman. And as Tom said, he did hit one out. Line shot to the right fielder, and...
That ball was a tougher play than what it looked like. The ball started to rise just as it got out to Mr. Flaws, Kenny Flaws, the right fielder.
So Rich Ross will stand in. He's a short center fielder. In the first game, Rich Ross was 0 for 2 with a sacrifice. No runs, no hits yet for the Ducks. No runs on 1 hit for the Coopers. We're at the top of second, just the start of things here. The World Series of 16-inch softball, happy to bring it to you. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Miller Lite, and additional support from the Daily Herald and Walgreens drugstores. A super tournament so far, 33 teams, the most in ASA history for a national tournament. 65 games so far here at Majewski Metro Park, and outstanding job done by Bob Ancona, the tournament director, and Mike Moore, the publicity chairman. Great hospitality.
Tremendous tournament, tremendously run.
So here's Rich Ross. 1 out. Goes to down the line.
Oh, Donnie Bianchi got up on that ball. Played that one very well.
Donnie Bianchi was right there. And that's a question of would he have made that play without gloves?
I think he would have made that play.
Something we're going to be taking a look at because not too many people are used to 16-inch softball. You know, you go in another state, Tom, and they talk about 16-inch balls, and they talk about a watermelon ball, a mush ball, as Mike Norris flies out to Kenny Flaws in right field to retire the side. And it's interesting. This is a hard ball, and there's a rotation rule, like you mentioned, with so the ball pretty much stays hard throughout the game.
Well, every time the ball goes out of play, the umpires are to rotate a new ball into the game. That way the game is speeded up, so to speak, and it becomes a much cleaner, tidier type of game.
Well, no runs, no hits, no errors in the inning. We're going to keep it right here as we go into the bottom of the second inning.
Further out here is what's going on.
Exactly. Well, in the last game, Cooper's exploded for 4 runs in the bottom of the second after a scoreless 1.5 innings. But Tommy Zarnik has so far held the Ducks in check. He's retired 6 straight. He'll lead off the bottom of the second here, be followed by Bud Dorskin, then Kenny Flaws, the right fielder. Then Don Bianchi, Mark Forgetto, Joe Samodi, and Mark Shula if they get that far.
Both these teams have to be extremely tired from playing many games today. This is the championship game, the big one. Half these gentlemen have lived to get here today. Whether they're tired, whether they're hurt or sore, doesn't make any difference. They're here to play on guts if that's what it takes.
The 11th game for Coopers in this tournament, the 6th game for the Ducks. The Ducks have advanced throughout the winner's bracket, but they lost the last game to this same Coopers team, Coopers, who has now won 9 games in a row, playing their 11th game. Tommy Zarnik takes for ball 1. Bottom of 2 here. Zarnik leading things off for Coopers. As I mentioned, they won the first one 11-5 to advance here to the second championship game. An interesting bracket, winner's bracket, loser's bracket, double elimination tournament. Each of these teams with 1 loss. One team of these teams will go home with 1 loss. The other will be eliminated. That's a strike. Zarnik, who has pitched so far 7 games today. That's over 49 innings. That's a lot of hard work.
I bet you his arms are sore.
It's going to take a few days off, I imagine. Fly ball, left fielder's over for it. Vacario retires Zarnik.
That was interesting. The umpire called that pitch illegal on the way to the plate. Mr. Zarnik still tried to cut the ball to left field. The ball is still in play regardless of whether the umpire called it illegal or not.
Cooper came in the best
Here
in the
comes
field.
The ball. Tommy tries to cut the ball, gets a little bit too much of it, and the left fielder comes over and makes the play.
As I was saying, Cooper's record was the best in the field, coming in at 73-13. They've had that record since began that record in the spring as Buddy Dorskin bounces out to Jerry Kelleher for the second out. And so far throughout this tournament, they now are at 81-14.
Boy, that's a tall order. 81 ball games to win as opposed to 14 losses. You know, they're almost machine-like in hitting and making these plays.
They sure are. They have players on the bench that are equally as good as the players out. They've got one guy in Mike Scully who plays football for University of Illinois, and he has not played in this tournament so far. Ground ball to shortstop. Dvorak throws out Kenny Flaws, and they're out of the inning. So, unlike the first game where 4 runs were scored by Coopers, the Ducks are knocking Coopers down. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We'll go to the top of 3rd. We're scoreless, and we'll be right back right after this. Here at Majewski Metro Park in Des Plaines, Illinois. Championship, a 16-inch ASA National Tournament. Steve Cashel and Tom LeVar bringing you all the action. Glad to be here on Sports Vision. As leading it off for the Ducks is Ray Vacario, the left fielder. He'll be followed by Jerry Kelleher, then Rick Omansky. Ground ball. Forgetto up with it. Throws. He's going to be safe. He beat it out. It's going to be an infield single. We see the short center fielder went over to his right as it went under the glove. And I think in watching Coopers a lot, Tom, Forgetto has trouble when Zarnik screens him. And here's the replay.
Okay, the ball's hit up the middle. Tommy Zarnik doesn't make the play, and it's just a little bit too much for Mark to catch a lefty running down the line.
And take nothing away from Varsity, who has tremendous speed.
It's a good spot to hit the ball.
Here's number 11, Jerry Kelleher, one of the finest shortstops you'll see in the entire tournament, the entire nation. Goes to the right side. Flaws going over. He's got it for the out. Runner tagging from first. They throw into second. He's going to be in there. Good slide by Varsity. And you're going to see players take bases like that all day.
Well, you see what's going on here is that... okay.
We'll try to show that one again.
Okay, Jerry Kelleher up the bat. Tries to take the ball to right field, hits it foul. Kenny Flaws comes over, makes the play, makes a nice throw to second base, and just misses nipping Ray Vaquero at second.
And here's Rick Omensky, second baseman. Line shot, base hit in the left field. Runner coming around third. They won't even try for him. They throw it into second. And Omensky goes into second as the throw came in short to Forgetto. He dropped it. And the Ducks have the first run of the ball game and lead it 1-0.
It looked like it was a little bit on the sloppy side there. Mr. Schuler picked up the ball, but I don't think he threw it to the right spot. I think the ball should have went into the mound. That way he would have held the person at third base and the other gentleman at first.
So with one out, Ducks are on the board with 1 run on 2 hits in this inning. First 2 hits of the ball game for them. Larry Zacher will stand in. He's the first baseman, batting 10th. There are 11 batters because of the extra hitter, and then the extra hitter cannot play the field, but he can be pinch hit for.
He can only hit.
As Zacher delivers a base hit, that's going to be an RBI single, and it's 2-0. Go ahead, Tom.
Well, the Coopers look like they're a little flat right now. One sloppy play, it turned into 1 run.
And the Ducks have jumped out to a 2-0 lead here in the top of the third inning. We're talking about the extra hitter. He can be pinch hit for, but he's not allowed to play the field, but that is just an extra hitter. He sits on the bench and like a designated hitter, although everyone else on the team bats.
Right, exactly. It's just what it says, an extra hitter. He comes out in the dugout when it's his turn to hit, and that's what he does.
And here's Skip Borkowski. He's the youngest player. His dad is also a member of the Ducks team. Chip is the pitcher, wearing number 14. Likes to wear the sunglasses during the day. But here we are late at night. Line shot. Flaws won't be able to get to it. That bounces in. Flaws friendly retrieves, and here's the throw in the second. Borkowski's on with a double. Zacher going to third, and the door is open for the Ducks.
Well, the Ducks have hit a couple balls to right field. To advance runners, it looks like they've got Mr. Zarnick's number.
And we'll show you the replay of that as Borkowski goes to the opposite field.
Okay, Chip Borkowski batting, takes the ball to right field, down the line. Kenny Flaws takes a high hop, he snaps it down with his free hand, makes the play to second. We have runners on second and third.
And here's Vern Scarpelli, takes for strike 1. You played in this field, Tom. Is it hard? Is it soft? The grass is pretty low up there. That's one thing I've noticed.
The field's in good shape.
Ground ball, Matt Gillen at first. He retires Vern Scarpelli, but the run will score.
Well, that's a very good play. A lot of people don't realize this, but what they've just done is they had given themselves up to score a run, which in this game, every run is a big run.
And it's 3-0. The Ducks lead it here with 2 outs. Now Jeff Metz, a center fielder who lined out to Kelleher, to Forgetto, the short center fielder, in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. He'll be followed by Al Cann and then Bill DeVork if they get that far. Just the start of things. We're at the top of the third inning, but already the Ducks are leading it 3-0. Here's the pitch. Little blooper, little flare. Masteri going over. But as fast as he is, he can't get to it, and it's out of play, so the umpire will retrieve a new softball. And Zarnick will throw a new one in.
Well, it's an interesting situation. What he's trying to do is he's trying to hit the ball 110 feet, which is what softball is all about. It's not a 300-foot game like 12-inch. It's a game of 110 feet. All you have to do is hit it over the infield and before the outfield.
Ground ball. Masteri up with it. Throws. He is out of there. He had trouble getting out of his glove. but he retires Jeff Metz. But in the inning, damage was done. 3 runs on 4 base hits, no errors, and they left 1. We'll go to the bottom of third. Our score, the Ducks 3, Coopers nothing. We'll be back right after this. Steve Cashel and Tom LeVar bringing you all the action. The bottom of the third, World Series of softball. Ducks over Coopers 3-0. Don Bianchi hits one to Dvorak at third. He's up with it. He's got him for the out, and 1 gone. Coopers is going down.
I think Donnie would like to have that one back. The pitcher faked, and he started to take his step up into the ball. And I think he's a little off balance. He hit the ball. He's trying to cut it, and he hit it at waist high. And to cut a ball, you got to hit it between your waist and your shoulders. So I think he'd like to have that one back.
Well, Ducks pitcher Skip Borkowski is now retired 5 in a row. And Mark Forgetto will get his first chance at him.
I think the Coopers, if they're going to win this game, they're going to have to start putting some pressure right back on. 3 runs in this game is a big, big lead.
Forgetto 0 for 3 in the game previous to this against the same team, where Coopers won it 11-5 to get themselves here in the Stumble Elimination Tournament. Takes for strike 1. Forgetto will be followed by Joe Samodi, then the bottom of the man in the order, Mark Schuler. Then we'll go back up to the top and we'll start if we get that far. Forgetto swings, ground ball, right at Kelleher at short. He throws him out easily. And 7 in a row. 6 in a row been retired by young Skip Borkowski.
Well, it looks like Mr. Forgetto didn't like something the umpire happened to call, but that's the game of softball, you know? His opinion is what counts.
Here's Joe Samodi, who was 2 for 2 in the first game. Then they walked him in the 5th. 2 of the 15 base hits Coopers had in 6 innings. Today's broadcast is sponsored in part by Light Beer from Miller and your neighborhood Walgreens stores and the Daily Herald. Don't forget to tune into Sports Vision for the Lou Holt Show, the new coach of Notre Dame, and Notre Dame football games every Monday and Friday night. The Lou Holt Show during the fall, right here on Sports Vision. Ground ball taken one-handed by the first baseman, and they retire Joe Samodi on a 4-3 putout, and all kinds of momentum going the Ducks' way as Coopers goes down in order for the 2nd time. And we're going to show the replay right here, Tom. And a nice grab by the first baseman.
Here's Joe Samodi at bat, pitch coming in, hits a ground ball, routine ball at second baseman. The first baseman, if you notice, didn't use his glove. He stuck his hand out, which is Chicago-style softball at its finest.
Exactly. And joining us now is a good friend and a man well respected and general manager of the Chicago White Sox. Danny, welcome, and tell me your thoughts about what you think of 16-inch softball, Chicago style.
Well, this is a heck of a lot of fun to watch. This is a real neighborhood game turned big time. And there's a lot of people in these stands who've been here all day long, a lot of sunburned faces. 11:30 at night, these people are still as fired up as ever been. I think this might be a case, though, that the body is willing, but the mind might be weaker than the body. It just appears as though the Cooper team just can't get up like they were in the game beforehand. That might be their biggest battle right now, is getting back up as high as they were in the last game.
Well, Wilbur Wood once pitched 2 ball games, or at least started 2 ball games, and this young man, Tommy Zarnik, on the mound, has pitched over 50 innings today, and he's just incredible, and you can see him, he's just pretty worn out.
I don't think Tom Zarnik's going to be running a marathon on Labor Day. That's a very good bet.
Good that he won't go to work tomorrow either.
Danny, let me ask you this. You've got some of these ball players, which are college ball players. What kind of transition would they have to make then from becoming a very good baseball player to the type of game they play now?
Well, I think the swing is a big different swing. The distance of the bases is 55 feet, which is 35 feet shorter than the major league level. But I think the game is very similar in many cases.
El Can gets a base hit to left field as it drops right in front of Mark Schuler. And that is the 5th base hit so far for the Ducks team. And this Ducks team is surprising here in the 2nd game, Danny.
This Ducks team is taking it right to him. I think this Ducks team thinks that this Cooper team can be had right now. The Cooper team appears to, though, they feel they are in a defensive now, whereas the Ducks are the aggressive team. I think they believe if they add a couple more runs on the board, this game is theirs to be
Well,
had.
the Ducks don't have anything to lose at this point. Maybe Cooper's, trying to live up to their reputation does.
Bill Dvorak stands in. He's a third baseman. He flew out to the right fielder, Kenny Floss, in the second inning. He's 0 for 1. Fly ball. Floss should be there. He should have it easily. Watch the runner tag, though. The runner will go to second. Here's the throw. It's going to be too late. That's something, Danny, you don't often see in the major leagues with only a fly ball going out to right field and runners tagging up everywhere.
Little things like that win ball games. So if you can sneak a run or two during the course of a ball game, you can win a game by 1 run. You look back at that play. It might not seem important now, but 5 innings from now, when one of the teams is drinking the champagne, it's a big play.
Here's Rich Ross, a short center fielder. He's 0 for 1. Make it 0 for 2. Oh, no, Mastari couldn't grab it. He's going to be safe. I guess we call that a hit.
I'd say it's definitely an error.
Definitely an error.
He's got a glove on. He's not playing barehanded.
Barehanded would probably be a hit.
Ball handcuffed him. Looked like he didn't know if he should go palm up or palm down with the glove, and he got tied up as a result.
So runners on first and second, 1 out. Here's Mike Norris, the extra hitter. He also flew out to right field. His first time up. Danny, we got some older ball players. What's the chance of a major league player ever coming in an ex-major league or maybe playing a 16-inch softball? Fly ball right field. Flaw should have it. Runners will tag. Both runners do advance. And now there's runners on second and third with 2 outs.
Steve, I think that they'd have to have a lot of money tucked away because you're not going to make much money playing softball. But I think a major leaguer who enjoys it would have a lot of fun.
Here's the replay, Tom.
Mike Norris up to bat. Hits a ball to right center field. Kenny Claus picks up the ball. Runner on first tags. Close play at second, but he's safe. Now we have runners on second and third, 2 out.
And here's Ray Vaqueria, who got the first hit for the Ducks. And he goes to the left side, but it's fouling out of play.
Tommy appears to be a very professional hitter, this man right here.
Well, he's got good bat control, and he's trying to do something. This game isn't a single-dimensional game. If you can cut a ball, if you can dump a ball, if you can demonstrate any kind of bat control at all, there's a lot of things that you can do with a 16-inch softball.
Vaqueria 1 for 1 with a single. Scored the first one. Line shot, base hit. 1 run will score. Here comes a second. He'll score easily. The Ducks lead it 3-0. Vaqueria with an RBI single, scoring 2.
Well, it sure does look like the Coopers have come out flat the second game of the championship series.
Cooper better watch it because they look like they're a little down right now. A lot of heads down. They don't watch it, they might get blown out of this ball game real quick.
The first game seemed like it was so easy for them to win. Line shot. Mastari has no trouble this time.
Nice play.
Makes a good play, and he throws it up in the air for the 3rd out. But damage was done. 2 runs in the inning on 2 base hits. 1 error. They left 1. And we'll go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Ducks have opened up a 5-0 lead.
Play the game any differently?
Well, as far as Cooper's standpoint, Cooper's is going to have to go and play if they're going to stay in the game. This is a very this is a transition inning for them. They're going to have to score some runs to stay into this game. No question about it. As far as the Ducks, I don't think after all this that they're going to play tentative. They can taste the victory. They're a lot closer to it than the Coopers are right now. I think what you'll see is maybe the Ducks will start playing for some runs. And all that means is instead of seeing people going for singles, you're going to see some people give themselves up to advance some runners from first to second and second to third, respectively.
Well, Danny Evans, being an assistant general manager of the White Sox, no doubt you're enjoying some great softball here, but who's impressed you so far?
Well, I'm really impressed with 3 players. I'm impressed with the shortstop on the Cooper team, Mastari, the center fielder. He really seems to be a team player. He moved a couple runners along, plays a good center field. Simone, right? I love the intensity of the shortstop on the Ducks, too. That man
Jerry Kelleher
just knows how to play the game. It's so obvious. I guess your shortstop is your key, but he's the glue in that team. Very obvious, moving guys around all the time. Anything hit to him is an out.
Mastari, from what I understand, is a 3rd baseman for Illinois State University. Had a nice batting average, had a great year. Is he a future prospect, you think?
We're going to find out right after the ball game, Steve. We're going to have a little chat with the young man and see if he's interested in playing some baseball, bring him out for a tryout.
Oh, that's great. That's good to hear. Fly ball, deep left field. Oh, and Vicario is right there to retire Mark Schiller for the first out.
I'll tell you, maybe playing all those games today is finally going to catch up with their Coopers here. They're going to have to get some runners here. Mark gave it a nice effort down the line, going the opposite way, but unfortunately it didn't fall.
8 batters have been retired by Skip Borkowski, and we're back at the top of the order in Frank Mastari. Danny Mastari, I understand, hurt an ankle, and yet I think when you're in a championship game, you forget some of those injuries.
They don't hurt you till the game's over, Steve. There's been a couple of players who play with broken wrists and broken arms in games. I remember in the '77 series, a player had a broken right wrist and played the entire 7th game, and after the ball game, shook a hand with another teammate, withered in pain, and found out that his hand was actually broken. So a lot of times the adrenaline takes you a long way in a game like today.
Well, you've got a big crowd. You've got a lot of Chicago out here, a lot of the suburbs. You're playing in a beautiful area on a Labor Day weekend. It's just tremendous to be a part of this whole thing.
One thing I noticed earlier in the ball game, they were using four infielders and 4 outfielders. And why would they not turn to that now when they're up 5 runs?
Well, first of all, the reason they're playing 4 outfielders is Mr. Dorskin in the first game of the championship series really pounded the ball. And speaking of pounding the ball, Mr. Mastari just pounded the ball. Looks like it's going to be a stand-up triple.
Knocks one to the wall. That's a triple. Boy, he
Kelleher
really
runs the ball in. Shows you he's the leader. Didn't throw it away, didn't waste any motion.
Only the 2nd hit of the game for Coopers.
We may see 4 outfielders and Mr. Mastari next time.
They have to get on the board here, though. If they don't get on the board here, they might really regret this opportunity later on.
As we go to the replay, we'll watch Mastari.
Frank Mastari hitting the ball. Deep left center, 1 hop into the fence. That's 265 feet. Left fielder picks it up. Jerry Kelleher runs the ball in. We have a stand-up triple for Frank Mastari.
And Matt Gill in the stand in. He's a second baseman, 0 for 1, bounced out to Kelleher to lead off.
We have a stoppage in play so that Mr. Mastari can get his hat back on. It fell off as he was rounding first.
Is that a rule,
the ASA
Tom?
rules, they must be attired accordingly, which means hats all the same. Numbers, same uniforms.
Well, I really like that idea. It's really great to see presence of a softball player like that, and everybody dressed the same, and it really helps to have a good attitude also, and a lot of these guys carry on a great attitude. So Matt Gillen trying to bring Mastari in. 1 out, ground ball. Pitcher takes it. Good play by Skip Borkowski. But as the first baseman drops the ball, Mastari scores with the first run for Coopers, and it's 5-1.
Well, he manufactured a run there. I'll tell you what, he stole one there. That might be a big run down the road. Maybe Coopers is going to wake up.
It helps with a little speed from Mastari, Danny.
First run sometimes is the toughest run to get, and sometimes after you score that first run, the dam breaks. You get a few more, it's a lot easier. That once that egg's off the board, a lot of times I think you get out of your head that you're having trouble.
Here's Kenny Cooper, 3 for 4 in the first game, including 2 singles and a double, 2-run score. 1 for 1 so far today. Fly ball deep center field. He pulls it in for the out. And Coopers is done in the bottom of the 4th.
Well, they played
1 run, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left.
Well, they played 4 outfielders. Again.
Clark, the championship of 6-inch softball, as Rick Omensky lines out to Frank Mastari at shortstop. I'm Steve Castro along with Tom LeVar, and Danny Evans is with us, the assistant general manager of the Chicago White Sox, and we're enjoying all the action here. And Danny, it's kind of a boyhood dream for some of these kids playing in a World Series. You know, they watch the White Sox, they watch Major League Baseball, they watch the World Series on TV, and here they are in front of hundreds and hundreds of people with their name announced. We got TV here. It's just exciting for a lot of these guys.
Steve, this game is as big for them as the 7th game of the World Series is for a Major League player. Whenever you're playing the top of your profession, it's a World Series. So these guys are out here to win just as hard as anybody else would in this position.
Larry Zacher standing in now. He's 1 for 1 with a run scored and an RBI. He singled in the third. 5-1 our score. Line shot, base hit. He picked out that line very well. Floss cuts it off, but Zacher is going to go into second with a stand-up double. His second hit of the ball game, and the pitcher, Skip Borkowski, will stand in.
Nice play. Cut off an extra base hit right there. Could have been 3.
Nice defensive play, but the way he hit the ball, that's... Well, I'll tell you, he hit that ball very well. Ball's coming in. Larry hits the ball. It's a hard punch is what that's called down the line. Mr. Floss cuts the ball off and makes a pretty good throw back in. Good play both ways.
So here's Borkowski, who doubled his first time up in the third inning. Takes for ball 1, strike 1.
It's a big run right here. The man on second base. If he scores, it just neutralizes the other run earlier in the inning.
Ground ball, Zarnik watches the man back to second, throws the Dorskin at first to retire Borski on a 1-3 putout. So there's 2 outs in the inning, and back to the top with Vern Scarpelli. So Danny, thanks so much for stopping by, and good luck to the Chicago White Sox.
That was a nice play by Oil Can Eggs. Did a good job on that play.
The man with more nicknames here than any other man in the tournament. Here's Scarpelli going to the right side, missed by inches. Foul ball. We're at the top of 5. We play 7. The World Series of Softball, so far led by the Ducks. 5-1 here. Coopers won the first game against the Ducks about an hour ago. 11-5 to advance to this championship game. This is the final game of this tournament.
Now it looks like the momentum has shifted, that's for sure.
There's a little flare that's going to go out of play on the left side.
Oh, he tried to take that one the other way.
Bob Ancona has done a tremendous job as tournament director here, and our thanks to him and Mike Moore for outstanding hospitality at Majewski Metro Park here in Des Plaines. Also our sponsors Miller Lite and the Daily Herald and Walgreen Drugstores for making this tournament what it is. This park houses over 2,200 players, 138 teams. Ground ball right through Mastari. Another run is in, and the Ducks continue their barrage as Vern Scarpelli singles. Zacher scores, and it's 6-1.
Well, that might have been the one that broke their back. We'll have to see. It was a good ball by Vern.
But as I was saying, 138 teams comprise the Mount Prospect District regular softball leagues, 2,200 players, and a lot of them come out here. Fly ball to center field, and the center fielder is right there, but boy, Jeff Metz wasn't far from dumping that one in also, bringing in another run. In the inning, 1 run, 2 base hits, no errors, 1 left. We'll go to the bottom of 5. Our score, the Ducks 6, Coopers 1, and we'll be right back. Coopers and the Ducks battling off here for the championship game of the 16-inch ASA National Tournament. Coopers playing their 11th game of the tournament, and the Ducks playing in their 6th. Ducks have advanced through the winner's bracket, and Coopers through the loser's bracket. John O'Connor bounced out to Kelleher, and that little Kelleher retires another one.
Jerry Kelleher once again leading his team in the direction of a championship.
Tommy Zarnik now will stand in. Zarnik has had an outstanding tournament also. He's 0 for 1 in this game. He was 3 for 4 in the game previous to this one that got Coopers this championship game.
These guys got to be very tired playing all these games today.
Well, the tournament is going to be going on 22 years, and every winner has been from the Chicago area. This is the first time the tournament's been hosted in northwest suburbs. And 33 teams this year comprise this tournament, as I said, as far away from New York and Ohio and South Dakota and Indiana, Wisconsin, Iowa. Kelleher boots this one as Zarnik reaches on the air. But Zarnik was going hard down the first base. He knows they got to put some people on base.
I'll tell you what's good about that play. Even though Jerry Kelleher made an error, I'll tell you what, he had the presence to signal to Mr. Dvorak, his third baseman, to keep the ball from going too far away so they don't get sloppy and somebody's on second.
So here's Bud Dorskin. Dorskin, who's hit a couple of home runs in this tournament so far. In this game, he's 0 for 1. He bounced out to Kelleher at short in the second inning. Last game, Dorskin was 3 for 4 also. 3 singles, 1 run scored. He'll be followed by Kenny Floss and Don Bianchi. He goes to the gap, and that one's gonna fall and go all the way to the wall. Zarnik rounding third. He's gonna come in, and Dorskin will wind up on third base with a stand-up triple.
Buddy Dorskin really pounded that ball. 6'8", standing on third, a stand-up triple.
It's a 6-2 ball game. We'll go to the replay and find that Dorskin going with his power to the right side. After
Here, Dorskin splits the outfield with a ball hit probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 250 feet. He split the outfielders, and the relay comes into the pitcher's mound, and Buddy has a stand-up triple.
Here's Kenny Floss now. Ground ball to Kelleher. It's going to score the run as Floss is retired 6-3, but it's going to be an RBI as Dorskin scores, and it's a 6-3 ball game. They've cut the lead in half.
If Coopers is going to make this a contest, they're going to have to come up with some hits here. They can't keep giving themselves up to score 1 run because 1 run isn't going to help them. They're going to have to put some hits back-to-back here to stay in this game.
Ducks pitcher Skip Borkowski at one point retired 8 in a row before Mastari tripled last inning. Dorskin has tripled this inning. Here's Bianchi, Don Bianchi, the third baseman, retired by the third baseman his first time up. That was in the third. Bottom of 5, 6-3 ball game. Every bit exciting as we thought it would be. Coopers and the Ducks for the championship of the ASA National 16-inch tournament. Right here from Majeski Metro Park in Des Plaines. Bianchi takes for a ball.
Well, Donnie Bianchi's taking some time getting in that box. The pitcher's decided to take some time also.
Yeah, he's having some trouble with some mosquitoes possibly in the air. Kind of a cool night though. Gotten a little cooler here.
Well, they're really hitting the ball far, and in cold weather, a 16-inch softball doesn't carry. For that matter, I don't know any ball that carries in cool weather.
Something's wrong with his eye possibly. Maybe where contacts and he got some dirt in it. A lot of dust flying here. 2 outs here in the bottom of 5. 2 runs are already in for Coopers. They trail those 6-3. They've got 3 runs on only 3 hits so far today. Ducks with 6 runs on 8 hits. They've dominated the early going so far this game. Fine shot taken on the hop by the short center, and he throws him out. Bianchi can't believe it, but a great play by Rich Ross as he retires Bianchi to retire the side. Two runs on the inning, 1 hit.
Here's the replay. We have Rick Ross getting handcuffed, still coming up and catching Donnie Bianchi by a half step.
Can't hit the ball any harder, Tommy.
Nice play both ways. It's starting to take its toll. All those games Coopers had to play today, it looked like they're a little sluggish, a little sloppy. Matty Gillen didn't even get the ball out of his glove.
Well, here's Bill Dvorak, 0 for 2, 2 flyouts to the right fielder. Goes to the left side this time and belts it off of the light pole.
Yeah.
And they'll retrieve a new ball. 6-3, top of the 6th. Ducks over Coopers. Fine shot. Oh, through Mastari's glove. Runner will go to third. Dvorak pulls up at second. And you can't hit a ball any harder than that, Tom.
Boy, that ball was on Frank Mastari, and it really caught him. It went off the top of his glove, but I'll tell you, it was out there in a flash in a second. Billy Dvorak really does hit a hard ball.
Well, Dvorak gets his first hit of the ball game, and Rich Ross will stand in. The short center fielders, runners on second and third. And in this replay, I hope we can be able to see that ball, because it was hit like a bullet.
Here comes the ball. There it goes. Looked like Frank didn't get his glove up there. Maybe playing all 7, 8 games today really is starting to catch up with the Coopers.
Well, it's starting to catch up with Mr. O'Malley, the manager, who's come out now to the mound, and he's trying to shake some things up.
This is a charged conference. They're only allowed 2. After the second, they must remove the pitcher. So Mr. O'Malley has 1 right now.
Well, we talked to Bob Ancona, an outstanding job he's done. This whole tournament began with a dedication ceremony for this ballpark and a media game between the Sun-Times and WGN, which was won by Sun-Times. Then the Hall of Fame game featuring the Bobcats and the Lion 45s. The Bobcats who dominated the 60s and 70s, who won 12 titles. It was the rematch of the 1972 game, won by the Bobcats, and this year's game was won by Lions, but some outstanding ball playing.
I'll tell you, the beauty in that is the fact that 10 years ago, half those people quit playing 16-inch softball, and I'll tell you, they never dreamed that they'd have a chance at each other again.
Well, they really played well here Thursday night. And home run hitting contest on Friday, popped it up. You're not going to see that too often by Mr. Rich Ross as he pops it up to Bianchi.
We'll have to see if that becomes a big play here. You know, that's a real waste. He should advance the runner from third to home. He should have given himself up to the right side.
And that's the first out of the inning, and Mike Norris, the extra hitter, will stand in. He also has 2 flyouts to the right side to right fielder Kenny Flaws. Runners on second and third. It's a 6-3 ball game here at the top of the 6th. The Ducks lead it over Cooper Sporting Goods. Ducks from Oak Lawn. He pops one up. Should score the run, though. Center fielder Samodi is there. He's going to throw to third, cut off by Mastari, and that's going to be an RBI sacrifice fly for Mr. Mike Norris as El Khan scores from third.
Well, I'll tell you,
it's a 7-3 ball game.
The coaching on the Ducks is excellent. The management of the Ducks has called his players up as they're coming to bat, and what he asked Mr. Norris to do was to give himself up, hit a fly ball, and make sure they get a run in. Now, he's just had a conversation with his left fielder, Ray Vaccaro.
And here's Vicario right now standing. He's 2 for 2, scored a run after he singled in the third, also singled in the fourth. Takes for ball 1. Runner on third, 2 outs here in the top of 6. The Ducks, who have scored each of the past 4 innings, lead it here 7-3. Ground ball. Oh, Sarnik grabs it. Looked like an ice cream cone, but he grabbed it just in time to retire the side. In the inning, 1 run on 2 base hits, no errors, and they didn't leave anybody. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and joining us now, and Glenn is the head of the umpiring crew here. And with 6 umpires, I didn't think there'd be enough room out there, but this game's going along fine.
Things have been going very smoothly. I got 6 top-notch guys out there. They've the 6 best people I've had out of the 18 working the tournament. Selected after a lot of evaluation at every game in the tournament, and I think we're doing a super job, to be honest with you, Steve.
Glenn, you've had a lot of umpires throughout this tournament, and you selected the finest 6. Tell me about your selection process.
Well, as I say, I spend time at every game watching the umpires work. I try to figure out who is the most capable as far as hustle, as far as judgment. The rapport with the team. There's a lot of factors involved to determine who are the 6, quote, best, unquote, umpires.
What is your base philosophy about umpires? A lot of people think of them as sometimes inhuman. You know, they're just out there and they can almost be mechanical. Do they have a judgment about the game? These guys have feelings. What's your philosophy? What are they supposed to be?
Umpires are just people too, Steve. We sometimes seem to be inhuman and oblivious to what's going on because we're trying to ignore the comments from the crowd.
Well, that says it all.
Right.
Continued success, Len, and appreciate all your help out here.
Thank you very much, Steve.
All right. Len Friedland, who's the umpire-in-chief here for this tournament, has done an outstanding job as we see 6 umpires on this field right now, and every guy doing a great job. And Tom, I know you have a lot of respect for the umpires also.
Yes, I played in the tournament, and they're tremendous, tremendous.
Forgetto's retired once again by Jerry Kelleher.
Oh, looks like he's been tossed out of the game.
And he has been tossed out of the ball game as the umpires, as we're talking about it right there, the first base umpire, Crick Gilbert from Valparaiso, Indiana, tosses Forgetto. He can't believe it. Look at our camera shot right there. We're right on top of it.
Actually, that's Joe Hoffman from Tinley Park.
Oh, is it? They changed umpires, all right.
Okay.
We'll show you the replay if we can on this one. Forgetto, either way, has been tossed out of the ball game. O'Malley can't believe it. Forgetto can't believe it. But umpire's call is good as gold. And when you're frustrated and you're down 7-3, things like that are going to happen.
Well, here you go. Mark's a little upset, pushes some dirt, showed up the umpire, and the umpire took care of that situation.
So Joe Samodi
Well,
will
they're still
come up
discussing it out there.
after the discussion. Forgetto just doesn't want to leave the field here.
Well, apparently he's trying to make some point. What that can be, I don't know. It's pretty clear that the dirt went between his legs in the general direction of the umpire. It's Joe Hoffman.
Joe Hoffman is the first base umpire. Greg Drzezinski from Vernon Hills, another umpire. Terry Riley from Tinley Park. Charlie Visick from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Crick Gilbert from Valparaiso. And George Spatola from Scottsdale, Arizona, as far away as Scottsdale, where they do play 16-inch, don't they?
Yeah, they hosted a tournament in March this year, which the Coopers happen to win.
Coopers, which travels extensively, won their own tournament in Rolling Meadows and did well up there in the Arizona tournament. Either way, they're trailing here in this championship game of this 16-inch tournament. 7-3 is our score. One out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Coopers is up. Joe Samodi, the center fielder, who's 0 for 1. Most of these guys are used to batting 3-4 times, Tom, and here they are. They've only gotten one at bat each or two.
Well, in the glove game, there's more outs. Therefore, there's less at bats.
So here's Samodi. Takes for ball 1. Skip Borkowski, who gave up 15 hits in the first game, has done quite a job here, holding Coopers to only 3 base hits. And that's not a lot of hits in 16-inch softball.
Well, when you put the gloves in, I'll tell you, a lot of crazy things happen with the gloves in.
Samodi will be followed by Mark Schuler, then the top of the order if we get that far. And we got a lot of static coming off the Coopers bench.
I'm sure they're pretty upset about that Mr. Forgetto being thrown out of the game. Umpire asked them to please keep it down.
Coopers coming in with the best record in the field at 73-13 at the beginning of this tournament. They're now 81-14. Fly ball, that one might fall in. It does fall in. Joe Samodi, and he'll be safe at second base. I thought he was going to be thrown out there.
Good hustle. Joe Samodi cut that ball real fine. Cut the ball right on the line. Slid to the outside of the bag. The tag apparently was to the inside, and he beat the tag.
Well, Coopers can use everything they can get right here, as Forgetto's been retired and thrown out. Samodi doubles, and Mark Schuler, the bottom of the order, will hit right now.
Well, that's a calculated risk there, him going from first to second, and this time it happened to pay off.
Anybody knowing this Cooper team might ask, where's Paul Brzezinski? As we said at the top of the show, Paul Brzezinski, the usual leadoff hitter for Coopers, and what Ken Cooper calls the MVP of this team, was out with a pulled hamstring. He was hurt yesterday in a game.
That really hurts them, too. He's a
Well,
premier hitter.
They've done great without him so far.
Tribute to their team. Played together the whole way through. They stuck together.
And yet a game like this where they're losing, you say, well, we could really use Paul.
No, I'm sure he's not feeling too happy about not being involved in it.
Mark Schuler, the left fielder, 1 on, 1 out. Samodi's on second. We're at the bottom of 6. 7-3 ball game. Ducks over Coopers. Winner to take home the top prize in this World Series of softball, 16-inch style. Swung on, ground ball, third baseman, he's up with it. Dvorak throws out Schuler for the second out. Runner has to hold at second. And Cooper's got to start hitting that ball in the gaps if they hope to do anything.
They got to wake up soon. It's almost over.
So 2 outs there in the bottom of the 6th, and here's Frank Mastari. tripled and scored his last time up, scored the first run of the game for Coopers. So he's 1 for 2 officially. Shortstop extraordinaire. One of the finest you'll ever see. Plays at Illinois State University in the off-season of softball. But sure enjoys the summer in many leagues and playing as many as 100 games during the summer.
Some even more than 100 games, more like 200.
With an incredible record like this team has.
Well, the season's getting longer. The season's getting longer.
3-0 count. Skip Borkowski delivers. That's a strike. 3-1. Runner on second. 2 outs here. Mustari steps out.
Home plate umpire Terry Riley has
Borkowski.
signaled time.
I like to thank our production crew also, Vic Santee behind the controls there in the truck, and John Coleman, the executive producer, putting together this whole broadcast. And what a pleasure it is to bring this to you. Frank Mustari walks, and life has come back into the Coopers bench and the Coopers fans here in the top of the 6th inning, as Matt Gillen, who is 0 for 2 in this game, with a couple of infield groundouts, will stand in. 2 outs here in the bottom of 6. Takes for ball 1. Borkowski having a little problem out there?
Well, I don't know. This looks awful close to me from where I'm at, you know. But the only one that counts is the man in blue. If he says it's a ball, it's a ball.
He got that one in there for a strike. 1-1. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. Bottom of 6. 7-3 ball game. Ducks lead it. Ducks in the orange, Coopers in the maroon.
He's got to keep the ball in play, or he's got 2 strikes. Cannot hit a ball foul, or he will be automatically out.
So the game, which has slowed down here in the 6th inning, up and full of excitement. Fly ball, deep drive, left fielder's over. Vaquerio has it, and they're out of the inning. Matt Gillen couldn't punch it through. In the inning, no runs, a hit, no errors. Nobody scored. 1-2 left. We'll be back with the top of the 7th. Our score. Here we are back at Metro Majewski Park. Steve Cashel and Tom LeVar. And Tom, you're a member of the Fusion team. And how'd you do against these Ducks?
Well, the Ducks spanked us. We didn't do too well. They really hit the ball against us. We came out flat, and I'll tell you, they really had an excellent tournament coming out of the winners bracket. And, you know, they're knocking on the door right now of a national championship.
Well, you played in this tournament, and your team survived till today and took home someplace.
Oh, they took home some pride. Maybe next time they come back, they'll do a little bit better. We had some teams that play in our local association that did very well. Moosehead Louisville Slugger out of Portage Park in Chicago did a real fine job coming in 5th.
So Jerry Kelleher is going to lead it off here. He's 0 for 2 today. Played outstanding shortstop so far as he has all through the tournament. He'll be followed by Omachki, then Zacher. Kelleher hits one deep to center, but Samodi's right there to retire him for the first out.
He's such a leader, though, on the field. You can feel his presence. You know, he's in complete command of his team.
You know, I talked with the Duck coach earlier and before the 2 games of this championship games, and he told me that he felt his team might be a top 4, but he is really surprised to get to this championship game. And first part of the season, they were very short-handed. They suffered a lot of early losses. But here they said they've got the players to play. The guys have come out, and they've really come alive after winning the Coors Light Championship at Blue Island. And after a slow start, well, he's proud of this team. And you got to be proud to hopefully take home a championship after this 33-team tourney. Base hit right there for Omansky.
Well, I'll tell you, it's on the refreshing side to see a neighborhood team like the Ducks proceed to the championship of the ASA Nationals. Gives all the other teams a lot of hope. And if you come to play, anything can happen. Just by the management of the Ducks' own words. He didn't expect to be here. He's here because his team came to play.
And I think they're going to have a pinch hitter right here as Hugo Byrd Arquilla, who's the manager, has done an outstanding job. I asked him also about the fact about the Ducks wearing gloves, and they say they don't always play with gloves. And he thinks that it's more of a disadvantage to his team because they don't have a lot of power and they like to dump a lot and shoot a lot of balls over the infield. And a lot of times with gloves, the teams come up with those balls.
Well, it's a different philosophy playing softball with gloves as to playing softball without gloves, that's for sure. A lot more hits without the gloves. It's the first baseman.
Here's Larry Zacher, runner on first, 1 out here. Top of the 7th, 7-3 ball game. Line shot, base hit over Bobby Zarnik. Runner will go to second because Samodi had trouble. Johnny O'Connor had trouble catching that ball coming into the plate because of the lights, I think.
I'll tell you, he picked a good spot to hit the ball. There's one place in the infield that is a hole, and that's over the pitcher's head. Okay.
We show the replay, and maybe 9 a.m. Zarnik might have gotten up for this ball a little bit more. As we'll show you in the replay, that was the second pitch. And after 2 pumps,
Ball's hit right
Zacher
back over Tommy. He just missed it with his glove. We have Joe Smody throwing the ball into the infield, and I'll tell you, there must be some oil on that ball because it looked like they misplayed it out in center and the catcher, John O'Connor.
So here, Skip Borkowski, he's the pitcher, 1 for 2 today, doubled in the 3rd. Ground ball to the right side, that'll score the run. Oh, they throw! And we've got a little bit of a fight right now as John O'Connor. We've got a whole big fracas going on right now. John O'Connor tagged the runner out.
Well, there's a mandatory slide rule, and the man did not slide, and he ran into John. And tempers are flaring right here. The umpires will do a real good job. They'll do a
We've
real
got a
good
little bit
job.
fight. Zarnik wants a little piece of the manager, I believe. Either way, the teams get separated. We're going to show you the replay as soon as we can. Here's the replay right now. He throws it into home, and we couldn't reach our camera that far, but Connor.
Well, he has to slide. There's a mandatory slide rule. The gentleman is the runner who is tagged out is out, and the umpires immediately called time with the altercation, and we're going to have runners on 2nd and 3rd. So there wasn't a second run scored there.
Okay.
That is the interpretation.
So runners on 2nd and 3rd right now. So no runs in. Keep it a 7-3 ball game. We're in the top of 7. All kinds of interesting things going on as Mark Forgetto was tossed out by the umpires of, he's on the Cooper's team. He was tossed after a 6-3 put out in the bottom of the 6th inning. And here in the top of the 7th,
Well, apparently
little
we have
fight
some
has broken out.
ejections. Apparently there are some ejections.
it looks like John O'Connor's been tossed out. And possibly one of the Duck players.
Crowd's even uppity out here. Even they're tired and cranky. Well, we're going to ask for an official ruling here.
What we had was a play at the plate in which the base runner, in effect, has interfered with the catcher's right to make perhaps another play. And so we have that man out, and because it's flagrant, he's going to be ejected. The catcher then, by attacking him, is going to be ejected for unsportsmanlike action. It's as simple as that. The ball is killed because of the interference. The runners who were between, I believe, second and third and home go back to the last base touch at the time of the interference. So we have runners at second, third, 2 outs. It's as simple as that.
Okay, that was Len Friedland. Thank you very much, Len. The umpire-in-chief here came over to clarify exactly what happened. So it is 7-3, Tom. We're in the top of the 7th, and there's 2 outs.
Well, we had 2 ejections. John O'Connor, Cooper's catcher, was ejected for unsportsmanlike conduct, and the Ducks had Rich Ross for interference thrown out.
Okay, so there it is. And I think Zarnik's asking for a little more now. He's meeting with the third base umpire. Ducks either way will have runners on second and third with 2 outs. We're in the top of 7th there, and now I think they know it's going to be play ball. Zarnik will get a couple of warm-up tosses. I'd like to thank our sponsors once again, Miller Lite, and additional support from the Daily Herald and Walgreens drugstores. And don't forget that today's broadcast is sponsored by those fine sponsors. And tune in to Sports Vision for the Lou Holtz Show and Notre Dame football every Monday and Friday night during the fall. Check your local listings for future air dates of this programming. The Lou Holtz Show and Notre Dame football. Happy to bring it to you, Lou Holtz in his first year here. And plenty other great college action and end of the White Sox season and Blackhawks and Bulls action coming up right here on Sports Vision.
Well,
So I think this game has been held up enough.
Well, we have some changes out there. We have Matty Gillen moving over to second, from second base over to short center. And we have Kenny Floods coming in from the outfield to play second base. And it looks to me like there's Scott Campbell in left field.
Which means Schuler rolls over to
And
right
Schuler's
field.
gone to right.
And Simodi stays in center. Either way, here's Vern Scarpelli, the catcher, batting for the 4th time today. He's 1 for 3. Ground ball. Zarnik has it, and it's as simple as a 1-3 put out to get out of the inning. But one of the longest innings after the fracas, and in the inning, no runs on 2 base hits, no errors, they left 2. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th, Tom. Our score is the Ducks 7 and Coopers 3, and what do the Coopers need to do
They
here?
need a hit. And they need a couple of hits. The manufacturer runs in the glove game, the glove form of the 16-inch game. I'll tell you, it looks like they're going to need a good 6 hits to put the pressure back on here to get close. I don't know. We'll have to see if they have it in them after all these games that they've played today.
Well, Kenny Cooper, John O'Connor, and Tom Zarnik. Supposedly that was a 15-minute delay.
A 15-minute delay?
Yeah. After all that, I guess when you're talking about the melee, doesn't seem like that, but 15-minute delay here in the championship game. We've had a number of players tossed out.
We got a replay of the controversial play. The gentleman is out because he didn't slide, and time was called on the interference, and that's what you just saw.
Well, Coopers took home 9th place last year. And it looks like they might take home 2nd this year unless they can get something going here in the bottom of the 7th. The Ducks have never won this tournament. It's going to be a major feather in their cap to take home the championship and a nice trophy.
Once again, like I said, the Ducks played an excellent tournament. Before the tournament, they weren't one of the pre-tournament favorites. And, here they are in the championship, so it just goes to show you anything can happen if you come to play.
So here's Kenny Cooper. The nicest guys on the team, player coach. He flies out to the center fielder. That should be easy, and there's 1 gone. So Cooper finishes 1 for 3. There's Johnny O'Connor, who was ejected. So it won't be Johnny O'Connor, but in his place is Soltis.
This is Joe Soltis.
Soltis
Formerly
gave
of
him
the
the
Cougars
catch.
softball team. This is his first year with Coopers.
Joe will be followed by Bud Dorskin. Excuse me, Tommy Zernick, then Bud Dorskin. Here's Solty's looking for his first hit in either game. Fly ball, deep right field. Right fielder is over. He's got it. As Elkan backed up and grabbed it, and there are 2 outs. And we're down to the last hitter, Tommy Zarnik.
Well, it's not over till it's over, so we don't know it's the last hitter. Tough competitor.
He is. "22 years this tournament's been going on, every winner from the Chicago area, and it looks like the Oaklawn Ducks will take the 23rd year here." Tommy Zarnik takes for strike 1. Zarnik, who's carried this team with his pitching, pitched his 8th game today. Wants to wait it out. Fine shot, 1 hopper. Throws him out. That's the ball game. It's all over. It's all over. The Ducks have won the World Series of ASA 16-inch softball. The Ducks take home the top crown.
Looks like some mayhem on the pond. The Ducks are on the pond going crazy. Very good.
Well,
Congratulations, Ducks. Excellently played game.
The
Good
Coopers.
coaching. Very good leadership qualities from Jerry Kelleher. Some fine hitting, timely hitting in the first and second innings. I'll tell you, they put the pressure on Coopers and withstood all that Coopers could offer.
Well, Coopers played their 8th game of the day. They did a tremendous job getting this far without Paul Przinski. And take nothing away from them, an outstanding team, good attitude, great players, and they take home second.
I'll tell you, it's got to be tough on them. You know, they've been at the door a couple of times, these guys, and I'll tell you what, I'd be willing to bet you that they're going to come back one more time and knock on that door. One of these years, it's got to be their year.
Well, here are the final totals now. The Ducks, 7 runs on 12 hits. Coopers, 3 runs on only 4 base hits, and I can't believe I see Coopers with only 4 base hits.
Well, that's out of character, but I guess they're just a little bit on the tired side, and unfortunately, it caught up with them playing all those games today. I have to believe that.
Congratulations to the Ducks, and right now they're getting ready to present the awards. Bob Ancona and Tom O'Neill, 2 guys that we've interviewed throughout the day here.